All right, pre-show shenanigans, Grant. Obviously, college football playoffs starting this week. College, bowl season's been on. I think we talked about this last year, but I want to start like with this. Um, the Pop Tarts Bowl revamped their trophy this year. I'm sure that you saw this, but now it has a functional toaster as a part of
Yeah.
it. That begs the question, Grant. What is?
We also just cannot forget there was a live murder shown on television last year at the end of the Pop Tart. A live murder
Yeah,
that we all witnessed. No one made a big deal out of it. It was stunning, disgusting, and gross that we allowed that to happen. And now we are making even more of a scene out of it with a ceremonial toasting at the
hey,
end of the
well,
Pop Tarts Bowl.
according
Who
to
are
the
two
Pop Tart,
representatives? Or yeah, go on.
Miami
Let
and
me.
Iowa State, I think. But according to Pop Tart, the Pop Tart last year did want to be eaten. So I mean, it was consensual. But I was gonna ask, what's the best trophy and or what's the best just bowl by just general trophy name event
I
going
think we know
on.
the easy answer of it, but I'll let you say it.
I mean, I was gonna say Pop Tarts Bowl, but
It's the Mayo Bowl when they
yeah,
dump a whole tub of
Pop
mayonnaise on the
Tarts is
coaches.
hey, Pop Tarts giving it a very good run though.
Yeah, no, it's giving it a run for his money. The GoDaddy Bowl also had a lot of heat back in the day. I would say that's up there. The Tax Slayer Bowl is up there. Poinsettia Bowl, of course, an all timer. The Gator Bowl.
Idaho
Although
potato,
it's really
but it's kind
unfair
of
that
cold.
that doesn't quite
But it
hit
is
the
potatoes.
same.
Like that's the
If
French
they
fry
were
dump though.
sponsored by Ida, the potato
The
brand,
potato brand,
that
yeah.
changes things.
But I think they do have a giant bowl of French fries from Ida though. I think that is what it is. And they dump the French fries on the winner.
I would hope so if we're trying to get the marketing going, folks. But those are up there. Mayonnaise bowl is
That's
definitely
another
in its own
echelon.
sphere.
Yeah,
Uh, that's like tier 1A. Tier 1B, Pop Tarts Bowl. Let's go to tier 2 now. Uh Poinsettia's in there. Gator Bowl's in there. I wouldn't say the Holiday Bowl makes the cut. I wouldn't say they make the
no,
cut.
it's not there. I'm like trying to think
I
of
gotta
all of
look
them. I
up.
gotta, yeah, I was still trying to think of all of them.
Best non BCS bowl games.
I just need to see all of the bowls. That's the
Best
bigger
non
thing.
BCS bowl games. Okay, yeah. So, the Cheez It Bowl, of course.
Yeah,
That's on
I was
me.
gonna bring that
That's
one
been
up.
renamed.
I think
That's
yeah,
been
I think
renamed though.
isn't no, it's still Cheez It. I believe it's still Cheez It.
Well,
Citrus.
they stole it from a bowl.
Yeah,
The
it's the
bowl was renamed.
citrus. It's the citrus bowl technically.
So that's what it is. Citrus Bowl. Oh, it is technically the Cheez It Citrus Bowl, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
it's the
one
Cheez It
whole
Bowl.
thing. Yeah, it's the Cheez It
It's
bowl.
it's the Cheez It Bowl. Okay, so that is up there as
I mean,
well.
Chick-fil-A technically, but I feel like that's just too high of a bowl to be
Well, Chick-fil-A,
recognized.
is that not the sponsor of the Peach Bowl?
It is the Peach Bowl. It's the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is its whole
No,
title.
no, exactly. But that's Peach Bowl. Relia Quest, that technically has to be up there, but that may get some extra weight this year because it's Michigan, Alabama. So maybe we take that away. I'm trying to find just a throwback right here that really hits different.
Really, one of the old ones, like we're
Now
talking like
this year
2010s.
we got the Champs Sports Bowl, we got the Ticket City Bowl. Uh,
I guess there apparently used to be a Jimmy Dean Bowl. That's I mean that's a good bowl. A Jimmy Dean Bowl.
yeah. If we're just gonna go off of American company bowls, I don't know why there isn't a George Foreman Bowl. Why that doesn't
Yeah, that's a
exist,
very good
I'm
question.
confused. I feel like that should have been
Kraft mac
going.
and cheese bowl. There should
I
be
don't
a
know.
Kraft bowl.
Is Robert Kraft?
I don't think so. I think it's just a
Okay.
similar name.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
not. If there is, I'm
I have
not
no
aware.
idea.
I'm not aware of
I
that
was thinking maybe
correlation.
Robert Kraft has blocked that bowl from happening. I don't know.
I would not have been aware of that correlation. No.
Yeah, no, Kraft should be up there. I know it's technically Nabisco, but there should be an Oreo bowl. What are we doing? I know it's technically Nabisco, but there should be an Oreo bowl.
M&M's should get a bowl, and their mascots just
There
should
should
be
be a
the
McDonald's
green
bowl.
and the red M&Ms. How they have in the commercials, they're always talking like that should just be the mascots, or like the Mr.
Oh
Peanut
yeah,
Bowl with the monocle and everything.
I like that better.
Yeah, Mr.
Oh
Peanut
yeah.
Bowl. That's a great one.
Uh, yeah, I would say we have a Disney Bowl, but that's the college football playoff. So we have multiple Disney Bowls.
Yeah, true.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think we're on the right track there with those. What other very American company
Yeah, I'm trying
deserves
to
an
think of a very, very American
extremely
question.
American company? The Ford Bowl.
Yeah,
How that doesn't exist, I don't know.
yeah, no, and yeah, then it should be played in Detroit at Ford Field.
At Ford
Exactly.
Field, literally, it's built in the
Literally,
name.
yeah, yeah. Built tough, built Ford. Hey, built tough. There
And
you go.
Dan
There's just like
Campbell, for the end of time, will throw out the coin flip for
I
that
thought you
game
were
for
gonna
the end
somehow
of
make
time.
a ceremonial first pitch happen for this game. It's
We
like how
should.
does that even happen?
We should. We should.
That's any
Yeah,
game that
no,
takes
no, we
place at a
put a
baseball.
mound on the
Any
50-yard line. Just put a baseball mound on there just for that. We wheel it off right after. We have that
any
technology.
game that takes place at a baseball stadium should still have a ceremonial first pitch.
Oh yeah,
Like the Fenway Bowl,
yeah.
deserves a first pitch.
I know I don't think it's called it's the Pinstripe Bowl. That's at
Yeah.
Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
Pinstripe Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Those should all have a required ceremonial first pitch. When Ohio State played at Wrigley,
Also
Ryan
required,
Day
should have required
forced
one.
to embarrass himself missing the first pitch. These things should have happened. We're missing out on a lot of opportunities here, folks. It's just simply growing the game at the end of the day. It's just growing the game, and we're failing at it. Yeah, but Ford Bowl, how that
Built
doesn't
tough.
exist,
Built tough.
I don't know. At this point, there may be a Taylor Swift Bowl like pretty soon. We're getting to that stage. Although not an American, but he captures the American audience quite well. The Gordon Ramsay Idiot Sandwich Bowl.
That would work.
That could be a thing.
Yeah.
Or I mean, if we rename you can't do Army Navy, but if like Air
we still
Force
have a military
Army
bowl
was
already.
the Gordon Ramsay Bowl. No, I know, but just like Air Force versus Army, Air Force versus Navy. Although it's still Service Academy or Service Academy, those don't have like a official name, I don't believe.
I do not.
That could be the Gordon Ramsay Bowl.
Do that. Hey,
just get ahead of it, folks. Just
Patriot Day.
Get right to the chase. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Hey, Buffalo Wild Wings.
That has been a thing. That's been
removed. It still? It's been removed. It needs to come back.
Yeah, used to be.
There's a reason why they had a bowl and Wingstop never got one. Let's put it that way. But no, very clear, very clear.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Chick-fil-A really just got in a BCS bowl. Like
they just stamped their name on it.
Just seamlessly finagled their way in to a BCS bowl. Good for them. Good for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, no, McDonald's would be the other American company needs to get in there.
And
Dunkin' deserves an East Coast bowl game.
It's dead now, but there was a 2-year window where the Whopper Bowl would have done numbies. It's dead now, but
they needed to do it while the Whopper commercial was going on. Any halftime, just Whopper.
Yeah, now
Whopper.
it's what the Bundle Rooski Bowl with Andy Reid. I swear, I see even get commercial 18 times per football game.
Don't even get me started.
That and Will Levis, Mayotivations. That needs to be discontinued. That commercial.
I'll be honest with Red Zone. Obviously, there was commercial breaks. This in quotations. This Red Zone. Thankfully, I didn't see a Bundle Rooski commercial. But if Red Zone ended up having a Bundle Rooski commercial on it, I don't know what I would have done.
Discontinue.
It would. I would. I think I would have to cancel my subscription. It's gone.
Yeah, Red Zone. There's been a lot of complaints specifically this year. This year, Red Zone's like on direct TV again for like the first time in years. Because for the past,
I saw on YouTube TV. I thought.
Well, yeah, but it's on cable.
Also on both. Oh, okay.
That isn't a pay-per-view buy, and like this is one of the first times in a while where I've been able to watch Red Zone and be live and not have to stream east it. We'll keep that quiet, boys. So don't
keep
repeat
that
what I just said.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed with Red Zone this year is that when the early games end or are about to end, we're like technically past the witching hour, and the 1 or 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock games have begun. They will just show the end of that early slate game, will not even address the 1 o'clock games that just started. And a lot of the times, that last game on in the early slate is like Jaguars Jets. And nobody cares. Nobody cares at all, but there's 45 seconds left on the clock, so we have to watch Mac Jones throw an incompletion here, folks. But because they're just showing that whole game, like the whole thing, for the 15-minute to 20-minute period where that game ends and the 1 o'clock games are on, they're just showing replays of what happened at the start of those games. And it kind of loses the point of Red Zone. Like it's supposed to be live, supposed to be everything. Like I don't care if you got to go Octobox for 15 minutes straight. I don't care.
There's a reason why I'm watching Red Zone and not watching that game individually or putting them split screen for myself to watch them all at the same time.
Yeah, Red Zone is slightly ruining the
Scott Hansen, what's going on, buddy?
Experience. It's slightly ruining the experience. So
there's no longer 7 hours of commercial-free football. This is a disgrace to humanity and American.
And also, at the end of every week, the 125 or 325, 425 start times, Fox always has like.
I appreciate you using the Central Time Zone and not Pacific time for that.
I'm being good. I'm being good on that. I'm being good. But when it's just the last Fox game on before Sunday Night Football, every single time Scott Hansen says some message along the lines of, for all of our viewers in the US, please change to your local Fox affiliate to catch the end of the game. And all international viewers, you can stay on Red Zone to watch the end of the game. Every single week, it'll just, like on the TV, it'll just go from Red Zone to just static. And I'm just like, oh, well,
guess I gotta go find Fox.
And there's a solid 14 minutes left in that Fox game. Solid 14 minutes left. So yeah, that's the reality.
When I went to go and find the Lions Bills game last week, I didn't even have it individually on my YouTube TV plan. Like the only way I could have watched it was on Red Zone.
Yeah, and it's like that was game of the week. Like how that isn't on every single television in America.
Crazy.
I don't understand. Yeah, but I'd say last little thing on NFL scheduling I've noticed. It's just really, really annoying every week watching the same teams in that afternoon slate. It's just every NFC West and AFC West team and the Cowboys every single week.
This is the first time this year, I believe, I'm watching the Vikings play in a mid-afternoon game.
No, yeah, like I believe the Chargers have only had one 10 a.m. game all season, and I think the next lowest is the Cardinals, and I think they've had like two. The schedule, the times are whack. The times are whack, folks. But all right, I think this is gonna do it for the pre-show. What a pre-show! What a pre-show! Pop-Tart Bowl, they're making waves. This is how you grow the game, folks. So shout out Pop-Tart Bowl, not shout out to Red Zone. Fix it, Roger. But without
we should real quick. Sorry, real quick. I had one that just meant we should have Red Zone, but for the bowl games.
Well, also I was just thinking this. Why is there not a college football Red Zone? That would be the sport that needs it.
Grant, you and I might have just had $1 million idea. We should go pitch ESPN.
Scratch that. That's a $150 million idea.
We should go pitch
That's
ESPN.
more than a $1 million idea. I mean, and let's be real here. ESPN, I'll just make it easy for you. Have Pat McAfee host it. Done. All right. You're welcome.
As long as we get royalties.
John Skipper.
As long as we get royalties, that's cool with me.
Yeah, you guys are so very welcome. Bob Iger, my phone is ready for a call. All right. Okay, without further ado. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 281, and we have the college football playoff. First ever 12-team college football playoff to officially preview. Massive week of NFL coming up. Big moving weeks coming up here in the playoff picture. Chargers have a very big game tonight when you guys are watching this. And Everett, Michael Penix is the starting quarterback of your Atlanta Falcons. And I don't
Oh
mean
no,
you
not me.
specifically.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean us as an NFL fandom. We finally get to watch Michael Penix. It's a great day. It is a great day for everybody involved.
Yes, the Penix but X replaced with S jerseys will be out in a numerous amount this weekend.
And knowing the NFL, just going back to Mardi Gras last year, we know a person who had a Tank Dell jersey with three
Backwards, yeah.
ironed on backwards, upside down, you name it. So a Penix with an S jersey is very, very easy to get from the official NFL team shop. That shouldn't be a problem at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could just start with the NFL, but that might be, it can't be the worst QB signing in the history of the NFL because Deshaun Watson exists. But signing a guy for $90 million guaranteed with a no trade clause, then drafting a quarterback and proceeding to bench said quarterback, also who's coming off an Achilles injury at 32 or whatever, might not be.
Kirk's only 32.
He might be like 34. Let me look that up.
I feel like there's no way he's only 32. He
36.
has to be older.
36.
Yeah,
okay. A little bit off.
Yeah, I was about to say Kirk was I think Kirk was 32 when he started in Minnesota.
Yeah, he was maybe he was 30 when he came to Minnesota. That he's been in Minnesota. He was in Minnesota for like 6 seasons, but that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, signing a 36-year-old quarterback off an Achilles to $90 million guaranteed over 3 years with a no trade clause and proceeding to draft a 25-year-old quarterback might not be the game plan for GM of the year, Grant.
No, now, I don't think so. That calls into question. I thought the NFL was punishing them for tampering with you getting Kirk, but
he might just be He might just be punishing Kirk,
tampering with himself.
They might just be punishing Kirk. I mean, shit.
Yeah, I think this might just be another example of not every adult in the room has the greatest framework of mind.
I will say, like, as a Vikings fan, I'm both very happy and sad to see the way that this went out. Like, obviously, I don't want Kirk to just be ass, right? Like, that's just I want to see him succeed. But also the fact that we dodged that bullet is I'm incredibly grateful for that. I think that might also make an argument for Kevin O'Connell, Grant, because the moment Kirk Cousins
I think he should
leaves,
be easy coach of the year.
Yeah, the moment Kirk Cousins leaves, he doesn't do well. That tells me something about coaching ability. But I did see that this was just the interesting thing with Kirk Cousins. So he has a no trade clause, right? And think about it similarly to Derek Carr's situation. I don't know if Russ had a no trade clause, but let's act like he did.
I'd assume he did.
I think he did. But Kirk Cousins basically has all the power here. He's going to say, hey, do not trade me. You're going to cut me. You're owing me all the money that you do. You're going to pay out me all the money, and then I'm going to get to go to whatever team I want to go to. Same way Russell Wilson did, where he got cut. He still got all that money. Then he could just go wherever he wanted on a vet minimum because he's still getting paid out by the Broncos.
Oh my God, Russell Wilson. I forgot the totals, but do you remember what Russell Wilson's total contract with the Denver Broncos was?
I'm going to be honest. I cannot remember.
Because I forgot this too. We glossed over this when this happened. Russell Wilson, Everett, signed a 5-year. Just guess what this $100 million starts with. What number?
80?
It's in the 100 millions. In the 100 millions.
Yeah, 180.
Oh, yeah. Russell Wilson signed a 5-year, $242 million contract with the Denver Broncos with $161 million fully guaranteed. Wow.
Hey, his agent deserves a
medal of goodness. Honor. Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah, I did see a post
the Nobel Peace Prize. My goodness,
I did see a post that said, yeah, whenever Kirk Cousins hangs it up, his agent's quarter zip should be hung on the rafters.
Quite literally.
Yeah, I think he's made $360 million or something like that, and he has won one playoff game like the last 12 years.
Yeah, I mean that's just astonishing. How much money?
It does make me question this. So look, he let's assume he's going to get cut, right? Because he's not going to be able to get traded without his cooperation.
can they can't cut him after the season.
They can
They
cut
might
him.
as well just
They'll
keep him,
owe
right?
his money. Like he's not going to get traded. So either they keep him on the roster, or they do the same kind of thing like they did with Russ, where they cut him, they just pay him out, he goes somewhere else, right? Because they want to start Penix. But let's say he gets cut. All right, where does Kirk Cousins sign?
The New York Jets. Oh, just have them in constant purgatory. Oh,
I'll be
I'm
honest.
here for it.
I
I'm here
actually
for
would
it.
not be surprised if that happened.
Yeah. Like I was joking there, but now that I say it out
It
loud,
would
it's
make
he's
kind of make
gonna be the
sense.
starting quarterback of
Yeah,
the
New
New
York
York Jets.
Jets. Yeah. Or he's gonna go to the Browns.
Oh, Browns. Yeah, I was thinking
Kevin
Giants.
Stefanski. No. Giants. Giants are gonna either draft Cam Ward or they're gonna give Sam Darnold a bet. One or the
Oh
other.
yeah, yeah.
He's not going back to the Jets.
I forgot about
Let's clarify that. Sam Darnold will
I forgot
not
about
be going back to the Jets.
I forgot about December. Yeah, I totally forgot.
December is kind of going off right now.
Yeah, so I'm looking at it right now. Falcons next season, if they cut Kirk, they would still have 65 million of dead cap. If they wait 2 seasons, it's only 25. So that makes
you
you
pay
think
a
they'll just have
backup
him be
that
the.
much.
But I mean, you're losing the money anyway, so
True.
might as well just have him be the backup.
I do kind of think of anyway. I do kind of think of the Brock Osweiler trade. You remember back when he was on the I think he's on the Texans when that happened. And they traded
you
him.
say Brock Osweiler, and I just think of his awful commentating ability in college football. But yes, go on.
But I think he signed that massive contract at the time, massive.
Let me look that up. Yeah.
And keep in mind, it's all inflation. You got to think about all that stuff. So at the time, massive. And they ended up trading him away to the Browns because the Browns had cap and Browns ate the salary. Okay. They got picks with Osweiler.
I've got the contract.
Osweiler. Yeah. They traded Osweiler and picks to the Browns to eat their contract to get it off the books.
I've got the contract here. On March 9th, 2016, Brock Osweiler signed a 4-year, $72 million contract with $37 million guaranteed of that 72.
So not fully guaranteed,
over half.
But still, 74, it's a lot of guaranteed money at that time. Like the Kirk Cousins contract had not occurred yet. Like the fully guaranteed contracts, not heard of at that time.
At this time, Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback of Texas Tech. So this was a while ago.
No, Kirk Cousins was still on the Commanders, and the fully guaranteed contract had not occurred yet. Like that, I believe that was the record, like the setting kind of fully guaranteed contract was the one that Kirk Cousins first signed, is when that kind of stuff kicked in. But case in point is it wouldn't be unheard of for the Falcons to give up Kirk Cousins and capital to a team that's kind of ass, i.e., I guess not the Browns in this situation, but like the Raiders.
No, I agree. Like we were talking about this contract. Yeah, we were talking about this off air, but like we were talking about like, you were saying, the Twins should probably trade like Buxton or Correa. It's like, yeah, right. It's like this situation with Kirk. It's like for nobody wants to take a player who can get through 40% of the season making 28. Nobody wants to trade for that. So like,
I do think it's a little bit different with Kirk because it's more performance than it is injury. But yeah, I get your point.
Yeah. Yes. But it's like, I feel like at least just next season, Falcons just have him be the backup. You made a mistake.
I mean, it never hurts to be.
It would have been great if you didn't do it.
It never hurts to, to have a veteran guy like that behind your quarterback. But also at the same time,
I would say of any starting quarterbacks, Kirk is probably the most likely to help out the guy underneath him and like actually spend extra time.
Aaron Rodgers. Not Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, recently, I don't know if you sent me this or if it was Chad who sent me these clips, but Aaron Rodgers has his new show out. He's talking about his career, and I was listening to a part where he's talking about how he got drafted to Green Bay under Brett Favre. and he was talking about
Yeah,
like,
Brett Favre was just not good to him.
he was just like Brett Favre, like was my idol, like watching like when I was end of high school at Cal, like in JUCO even, he was like, I really looked up to Brett Favre. Like Brett Favre was also JUCO, like a lot of similarities.
Aaron
And
Rodgers
when
go to
he
JUCO? Really?
Mhm.
I didn't know
Oh
that
yeah.
fact.
Oh
I didn't know
yeah,
that
he did.
fact.
That I mean, you can see why he's so arrogant. He's like, I literally came from nothing. I'm better than everybody. I came from JUCO and I'm still better than like you can see where the arrogance
Yeah.
comes from. But like he showed up, was not on good terms with Favre. Like Favre said famously, it's there's nowhere in my contract where it says I need to help Aaron Rodgers become a better football player. There's nothing in my contract that says I need to do that. So, and also like he was saying, the backup at the time, those first couple seasons was like best friends with Brett Favre. They would go out hunting all the time and like in the QB meeting rooms, it'd just be
Yeah.
them two together and then just Aaron Rodgers over there. But how he described how much he like resented Brett Favre for how he treated him, it's like, so you'd think maybe he'd learn a thing or two when he's in the exact same
Well,
scenario
I will
about
say
14 years later
I
with
will say
Jordan
this.
Love, but
He did say
he just did the Brett Favre to
he
Jordan Love.
did say when Jordan, like he was pissed obviously when Jordan Love got drafted because that was the
Yeah.
years when they were competing. He was like, I need a wide receiver.
Yeah, they were like
He drafted
14 and
Jordan
2
Love.
those years. Yeah.
He drafted Jordan Love instead. I think like he specifically said during that he was like, I don't have a problem with Jordan. Like I'm gonna try and help Jordan, whatever. But like I
It
have an
obviously
issue.
pissed him off though. Yeah.
He was pissed with the organization.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't want to do the same thing to Jordan that Brett did to me. I'm trying to be different. Like I remember that, but the bigger thing is with Kirk. It's just ironic. It's unfortunate for him, but it's ironic. The one thing he didn't want was to have a rookie behind him.
I
Like
remember this.
obviously,
I remember
Kirk would
this.
have obviously if that
That's
happened.
why
Kirk,
he
I
stayed out
guarantee
of
you with Penix
Minnesota.
too would have been like if he knew either way. Like he probably still helped Penix. He probably would have helped JJ. Like true, but he wanted to not have that problem, that foreseeability
That's not what
of that
he
guy's
was
coming
signing
back
up
behind
for.
me. And now the fact is, I don't know how it would have worked out in Minnesota. All right, I really don't. I'm
If
assuming
Kirk was there right now instead
I'm
of Darnold.
assuming it would have been better than his situation in Atlanta. I don't think the Vikings
Yeah.
would be
Yeah, it
12 and
would
2
have.
right now.
Okay.
But I will say it is just ironic now that he is a backup to this rookie quarterback, where here he probably would have started the whole
exactly.
year and then he would have gone back out into free agency, been doing whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm thinking though, like if he did not go to Atlanta, do you think Kirk would have asked for like you wouldn't have given him 180 million 4 years? No. But I could see him asking like Vikings, like just give me 3 years, 75.
No,
like
Vikings wouldn't do that. Vikings would do a 1-year deal. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess he would have had to come back to Minnesota.
Vikings were not doing keep in mind the contract with Atlanta was 3. I think was it 3 or was it 5? 3?
It's 4, 180 over 4.
Yeah, Vikings were not doing any long. Like I think the longest they might have gone was 2, and I doubt that.
Who else was what teams needed a quarterback in free agency last year?
Last season, Vikings, Falcons, I guess. Raiders. They signed Minshew though.
Yeah.
I need to like look at all the teams real quick. Technically the Patriots, but they drafted.
Yeah.
Giants, kind of.
Yeah, but they were
Commanders
kind of stuck with Danny.
Commanders, kind of.
To a degree. Yeah, take Bears, Commanders, Patriots out.
Yeah, I guess Raiders, Titans, but not really.
Wait, no. Kirk signed before the draft. That's
Steelers,
why when Michael Penix got drafted, it was like, what the hell?
Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers needed one. Bears.
Ooh, that could have been interesting. Kirk in Pittsburgh, that could have been interesting. Who knows?
Yeah, no, I don't really know how it's going to work out this offseason because I feel like more team like the thing is the quarterback class sucks, but at the same time, I feel like there are not teams that want to invest in older players like that. Like I'm already questioning who's going to get Darnold, but I have seen that people are more invested. Teams are reportedly more interested in signing Darnold than drafting a quarterback. So that's just going to be interesting. But Grant, I do have a little fun fact here with Kirk Cousins. So Kirk Cousins had a 103.8 passer rating last season with the Vikings. Currently, Sam Darnold has a 10
Passer rating?
passer rating.
Got
Passer
it.
rating. Currently, Sam Darnold has a 104.9 passer rating, so higher than Kirk Cousins last year. No other team in NFL history has ever, in one offseason, lost a qualifying quarterback with a 100 plus passer rating and added a quarterback who duplicated it or did better the next season. No team in NFL history has done what the Vikings have done this season.
So are you saying you want to be the first team to break that, or are you saying keep Sam Darnold?
Well, there is no, unless we get JJ, and JJ then also does it.
Well,
next
that's what I'm
season.
assuming. No,
So
that's
that
what I'm
would
saying.
be
Like
3 years
JJ
in a
next
row.
year would.
Then it would just be Vikings and Vikings again. It'd be the only other team that did it was the Vikings the year before. But currently speaking, just in one off season,
I thought you were saying
it's the first time ever in NFL history that a team has been able to replace a quarterback who, in that same span of time, who was above 100 passer rating and now has another new quarterback with above 100 passer rating. Never happened before. So, additionally, before we get into this game slate, there are only two other quarterbacks in NFL history to ever switch teams and have 350,000 plus passing yards, 29 plus passing TDs, and a passer rating above 100 on their new team the first season.
3,500 yards.
3,500 passing yards, 29 plus passing TDs, and a passer rating above 100 within the first 14 games on their new team.
So going from 14 games. Okay.
So going from one team, it's a lot. Going from one team to the next team, right?
It's the meme with like the
math
like
all
the
around.
cosines up there. Sign
the hangover,
right there.
The hangover meme. Yeah.
Yes.
But there's only
rocket physics real quick.
There's only 3 players in NFL history to ever switch teams and start through 14 games with 3,500 passing yards, 29 or more passing TDs,
I got
100
that.
plus passer ratings. Peyton Manning in 2012. Peyton Manning in 2012. Didn't win Super Bowl that year, but won it close to then after, but still made the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford in 2021 made the Super Bowl.
I'm guessing Brady did that in Tampa. No,
the only other quarterback: Peyton Manning, Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold. Only quarterbacks to ever do that. No Tom Brady.
I have wow, that actually is surprising. That first year in Tampa, he didn't do it. Yeah, I guess if they're
through 14 games. Through 14 games. I don't know how it is season.
My first thought was Peyton Manning because I'll never forget
the 5 TDs week 1. Oh, God. I drafted him that season. I was just sitting there. I was using at the time. I wasn't even using ESPN Fantasy. I was using the old NFL.
Yahoo.
NFL.com.
NFL.com. Oh my God, that's the.
And I was sitting there watching him. I had him and Megatron on the same team. I was just like, oh, I'm winning this. Like, I
have no idea who else was on my team. I just know Peyton Manning was on my team, and my whole perception of Peyton Manning, the sheriff, changed.
Forever.
He was my king. He was my goat after that. But then
crazy. I will never forget where I was standing when I looked at. I wasn't watching the game, but I looked at the ESPN app that night, and it was Peyton Manning 5 touchdowns. Like,
I mean, the streets will never forget. The streets will never forget.
No, never.
Ever. There is that. But
also just another Vikings fun fact. Kevin O'Connell will be the first coach in Vikings history to ever have multiple 13-win seasons. So
first coach in Vikings history.
Multiple 13-win seasons. Kevin O'Connell got 12 wins for the second time in 3 years, becoming just the second coach to hit 12 wins twice in franchise history. Bud Grant was the first one. If he wins this week, I guess any week the rest of the season, he will become the first Vikings coach to ever have multiple 13-win seasons. So, fun fact there. But, Grant, let's get into the game slate for this week for the NFL. Lots of stuff going on, Grant. Last week, you beat me by 1. I was telling you this before we were on air, but I'm not even really going for victories against you this year. This is more of a moral victory season for the podcast. To have both of us above 65%, just above 60%.
Yeah, and I personally will make zero comment on the current state of the NFL and like 8 teams being like 2 wins or 3 wins right now. No comment,
No
no
comment.
comment on
Hey,
the
hey,
state of
this
the
is
NFL
not a
this year.
Disney season. It's not a Mickey
Anybody can
Mouse race.
any given Sunday,
Yeah, any given
folks.
Sunday.
So
Watch
I
the
don't want to hear
Panthers
it.
have almost beat teams for like the last 3.5 weeks. They're gonna get one at some point.
Dude, the Panthers are frisky. They're
Yeah, they'll get one
frisky.
at some point. They'll get one at some point. But yeah, I'm at 65.7%. I believe you're at 67. So we could make a push for 70%. You're more likely than I am to do that. But it's moral victories we want on this podcast.
To be honest, though, a 70% hit rate, that is not the intended goal. The intended goal when we sought out for this quest at the beginning of the season was 60%.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't have the exact math. I'm at 67% right now. I think I'd have to finish these next 48 games down the year. I think I have to be like 15
you
wins
probably have
of 48 to go under 60.
I think I'd probably need about 20, 24, 25 out of 48. Like go.
Well, I think if you win 500 this year, I think
you're sub.
I
have to be sub.
Yeah, you have to be under 50.
Yeah.
You got to be like
48.
You'd have if you got 48, you're over 60 for the rest of the year.
Just saying, barring a literal implosion.
And I'll be honest, week 18 could screw up this whole thing. We might.
Oh no, yeah. We were talking last episode about do the Texans bench players for the next 2 weeks to end the season? Like if that happens, I don't know.
Like at least the game before, and you cannot change your playoff position at all. You should bench them. There's no
problem is Davis Mills still might somehow win that game. So.
Yeah, and I'll be honest. Damian Pierce as the starter, he might average 0.6 yards per carry, but he'll run the ball 40 times for you.
Yeah, you could put him at 50.
He might only get 48 yards, but he'll run it 40 times. I wonder
what the most rushing attempts in one NFL game is.
All right, most touches in an NFL game.
Touches or I want rushing attempts.
I'm gonna go touches. Okay.
I just think that
guess what the record is. Guess the amount of touches. It's a tied record, by the way. Really? 2 players.
Is it like a modern record, or are we talking like 1948?
This century. I don't know the exact date that the record was set, but at least one of the players set this record within the last 20 years.
Will I actively know this player?
Oh, yes.
Okay, can I get the player's name and I can approximate?
Nope. If I told you his first name, there's only one person in the NFL who has this first name, so you know immediately. So
I'm going to say like 46 touches.
Really close. Really close. I'm not going to tell you over or under, but I'm going to let you guess if that's
really
over or under.
Like how hot am I?
Within 3, plus or minus 3 of 46.
48.
48 touches is the NFL. I got it. You're getting good at these guesses. You're getting good.
Yeah.
Like this is your trait.
That's my niche
random
trivia
trait.
Question.
Yeah, like my niche trivia is listing NBA basketball players' ages.
Yeah, if you need somebody to get within like 4 years of something in the NFL alone, I could probably do it.
Yeah, you give me NBA, I could do that.
Or something in the NFL I can figure out.
Yeah, but the record's 48 touches. And
AP
kind of makes sense. No, but along that line of goatness, it's LT LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, that was going to be my 2.
So that makes sense. That adds up.
My 2. That probably should have been the first one because AP didn't really get many passes. But who's the record tied with though?
He is tied with James Wilder, who was a running back in the
1948. 80s. Oh, 80s. Okay.
Fun little fact though to give Wilder some credit. So Wilder's tied with LT at 48. The second most touches in an NFL game all time is also James Wilder at 47.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was just thinking for whatever reason. I when I said 1948, then I realized the forward pass wasn't invented. Lefty Dickstron hadn't played quarterback yet. The forward pass was not was not invented yet.
In 48, Lefty Dick Strong was, I believe, already the head coach of the SMU Mustangs at the time.
Oh, was he? I didn't realize that was
it
part
was
of
the
his legacy.
1931 Rose Bowl when
Oh, okay.
Lefty.
So Lefty did invent it by that time.
Yes.
Yeah, I just realized
because it was the 31 Rose Bowl. USC played too late. I still can't
Yeah.
believe like we got Shea for like a second on that, but
no.
just said it with so much confidence, like
He's like,
exactly
"Really?
what happened. And he's
Really?
like, "Oh, I had no idea." It's like, yeah, no, we just made that entire thing up.
No, Lefty Dick Strong does not. He's just a Waterboy Award winning quarterback. But yeah, that also made me think the Waterboy Awards are coming up soon. They got.
Oh yeah.
They're coming up real soon.
And kind of like the Heisman, the voter base has expanded. It's a little out of hand. We may need to cut back on some voters. We may need to kick some guys out. Their voice should not matter in the Waterboy Awards, but they do. We'll trim the fat.
Have to reevaluate that one after last season. Yeah. Last season was getting out of hand. But yeah, let's get through these games.
Onto the games.
This is quite literally this. Hey, I want you to be proud of me. I have this pulled up. If I was going off of just my list, I wouldn't have gotten some of these games times right. I'm just saying now. This is quite literally
tricky ones that I have
quite
marked.
Literally. No, you're waiting to see if I slip up on this. Okay. All right, we're recording this Wednesday on December 18th. I got to wait 40 seconds, but 4:19, 22 seconds p.m. All right, 30 seconds from now would have been even better. But Thursday night's game, Broncos at Chargers. Grant, I don't know if you're going to that one yet, but you better figure out how to get there.
We're deciding that's Chargers game of the year, but yeah.
Saturday. Same time as college football playoffs. Thank you, Goodell. Noon, we have Texans at Chiefs. Still a big game, even though the Texans look mediocre. And then we have 3:30 Steelers at Ravens. Two just absolutely heaters for that game to be the same day as the playoffs.
I mean, way to take the shine away from college football. I mean, come on. Well, I also think, though, these four teams, they have to play on Saturday because these are going to be the teams playing on Christmas on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, it is, but just absolutely.
No, you're right. You're right. No, it is. It's like, I mean, what are we? But I think I have my math right. The Texans and Chiefs will play 3 football games within a 10-day window.
Yeah, every team I think has one of those spans a year, though. Just a matter of when.
Well, this one's really bad because Christmas. This is the first time an NFL game's ever been played on a Wednesday, I believe. I don't. What other instance could have required a Wednesday football?
When like one of those games got moved, like the hurricane displacements or something like that, or like we had like the blizzard.
Well, when that happened, a couple of years ago, Tampa and Miami, they had their week 1 games canceled, but they just had week 1 as their bye.
I thought it was Tampa Saints. They got.
Oh yeah, it could have been. I just remember that one year they just had Tampa's bye week 1.
Yeah,
which kind of screwed them over the rest of the season. But yes,
yeah. But okay. Sunday noon slate. Giants at Falcons. Absolute heater.
Michael Penix's debut. You know,
couldn't have been a better team for him to debut against.
Oh yeah, it was perfect.
Lions at Bears, Browns at Bengals, Titans at Colts, Rams at Jets, Eagles at Commanders, Cardinals at Panthers. 3:00, we have Vikings at Seahawks, Patriots at Bills, Jaguars at Raiders, 49ers at Dolphins. I don't know what the fuck's going to go on there. Night game.
That's a pick 'em. Those last 2 games, Jags, Raiders, Niners, Dolphins, pick 'em.
No idea what's going on. Bucks and Cowboys wrap out Sunday night, 7:20 p.m. on Peacock. Monday night, absolute stinker, Saints in Green Bay. Here are my picks, Grant. Jeez, okay. I actually, that Jaguars Raiders game, I'm teetering back and forth. I think Aiden O'Connell's playing now, so I kind of want to take the Raiders.
I don't think you know what? Let's both read this piece of information.
Yeah, this is going to determine some stuff.
He's playing.
He's playing. They just don't have a running game. Oh man.
Yeah, is it still Amir Abdullah, Nebraska legend?
No, it was
Sincere McCormick's out.
McCormick's on IR now. I think it might be.
He went
Madison.
out.
I think it might be Madison.
Oh, he's also out.
Oh, Madison is out.
It's
Yeah, then
Amir
it's Amir
Abdullah
Abdullah.
season.
It's Amir Abdullah
And
and
Max
and
Crosby's
Zamir
out for the
White, I
year.
guess. Yeah, they just
Oh,
signed
he
Andre.
just sucks. They're not letting Zamir
Yeah,
White touch the
yeah.
football. So
Anybody, any. I think we also talked about like we kind of liked Zamir White going into the season, but any fantasy football analyst that was like Zamir White will win you fantasy football this year, never ever listen to that guy again.
never
Never
talk
ever.
again. Just don't
Never ever.
speak
We're gonna
again.
both
Don't
say
open your
that, and
mouth.
somebody's gonna go back to like that
Yeah.
episode and be
I
like,
mean,
yeah,
next
that
year
guy.
I'm just whoever I draft round 5 next year, I'll just say he's gonna have a breakout season.
Yeah, who did you draft again this year? Who was
Bam
it?
Laporta, I killed him.
It was you did kill Florida. Yeah, you did
No, like
kill
this
Florida
year confirmed. This year confirmed that like
you know
it's
what?
not coincidence. I actually do have an impact.
You should make a TikTok on that. I don't
No,
think you've done
I'm
that.
gonna have to go
You haven't
through
done
my
that
history.
yet. You have to do that.
Yeah, but it's just at this point, it's just real.
No, yeah, no. We
It's
need
not
we
it's
need
not
you
a
to do that.
coincidence anymore. It's fact. Whoever I draft round 5, and it was close because like I had Brandon Ayuk round 4. He died.
Hey, it leaked a
but-
little bit. It's like that Antonio Brown CTE
Yeah, there's some
from the
spillover
Madden
effect.
cover.
But Everett, do you
Was
know who
it
I
late
took
round 4?
6?
Was it late round 4 for Brandon Ayuk?
I was pick 6 in the draft, like dead
Okay,
center.
I was gonna say if it was like the last pick in the draft, yeah, the leak effect really applied.
Well, the spillage happened the round before, but my round 6, 7, and 8 picks were Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, and Chuba Hubbard, all hammers. So
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
you know
They made the fantasy gods kind of helped you out there. But yeah, you got to make a TikTok on that. That would be some good content.
Oh yeah, and Bucky Irving for Heisman, but yeah.
All right. I have Chargers, Texans, Ravens, Falcons, Lions, Bengals, Colts, Rams, Commies, Cardinals, Vikings, Bills, Jaguars, Niners, Bucks, and Packers.
All right, so we're going same on the pick'ems. I got Jags Niners. My first thought was I might regret picking double road games, but home field advantage doesn't really exist for the Raiders or Dolphins. So I'm not going to fret over that. But all right, here are my picks. I think, yeah, I think you may be able to get me one on Broncos over Chargers here. But
I took Chargers.
Chargers, Chiefs, Ravens, Falcons, Lions, Bengals, Colts, Rams, Eagles, Cardinals, Vikings, Bills, Jags, Niners. I have a feeling we're going 0-2 on that one. Buccaneers and Packers.
Yeah, so the only two differences we had were I have 2 upset picks.
Yeah, you've got Texans.
I have Texans and I have
Commanders.
Yeah,
okay.
I took 2 upset picks.
Now, let's talk Texans Chiefs first.
Yeah. Look, Texans have looked like they have not looked good lately, right? And I was sitting here and I was thinking, I'm like, all right, CJ hasn't looked great. Defense has been okay, but the Chiefs' defenses look just deplorably bad. And Patrick Mahomes is coming off an ankle sprain. And I'm just kind of sitting here, I'm like, I think if the Texans are going to put it together in a game this year, this is the game that they put it together on. And
this is it.
I think that if they're going to put it together for any game, you're putting in the effort, putting in the work. Like this is the game that even if they lose, that they would be able to put things together on and make it work. And if they lose, it's just Patrick Mahomes voodoo magic. Like at that point, but I think that this is like a make or break game for the Texans, kind of big for playoff seeding for them, for whether it's going to be the 3 seed or the 4 seed. And on top of that, they could be catching the Chiefs. The Chiefs have not been looking good this season, right? Mahomes has been looking average by Mahomes standards. He's hurt, coming off an ankle sprain right now. Like there's going to be a game that they're going to get got in, and it's going to be like there's going to be something, right? And I think that this could be one of those opponents where they're a little bit overlooked. Like CJ Stroud's not been looking great. They are the running game's been all right, but like Joe Mixon, it's been good. I shouldn't have just said running game's been all right. Joe Mixon's looked good. Nico Collins has been good. Daniil Hunter, I think, is second in the league in sacks or third in the league in sacks. Stingley's looked good. I would be concerned about Aziz Al-Shaair killing Patrick Mahomes halfway through the game. So, like, I feel like there's some quality to taking the Texans here.
Yeah, I feel like the Chiefs had their one moment though against Buffalo.
Well, they also almost
Uh,
lost to the Broncos.
no, yeah, they play in
I
tight
just
games. I don't know this for fact, but I believe the Chiefs have only covered the spread twice this season. I don't have that for
Yeah,
fact.
they've been in one score
But
games. I believe this is like literally the last game versus the Browns was the first time since the 49ers that they have not, oh no, yeah, that they have
covered.
won by more than one score.
Oh, just that in general. Yeah,
That in
that too.
general. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean the
look,
Chiefs they just play close tight
they're
games. That's what.
7-0. They're 7-0 at home right now, but here are the teams that they've played and beaten at home. Ravens and Bengals to start the season. Okay, start the season. Saints, Bucks, Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers. Those are their 7 wins. And I wouldn't necessarily say, yeah,
That's
Ravens.
not awful.
Not awful, but they've all been one score. Barely beating them, like one score, like coming down to the wire kind of score games. And I think that the Texans are probably the best team that they're going to play against at home since Cincinnati week 2. So it's just one of those things where it's like they've been getting some.
Well, actually, yeah, no, I'd say you're right on that. I'm guessing the Bucks were missing someone in that. Mike
I
Evans
think I
out.
think Mike Evans was hurt that game. Yeah, Cade Auden was leading the team in receiving yards. They were down both.
Excellent
Evans.
fantasy week out of Auden, by the way. That week
Yeah,
won me a game.
they lost both Mike Evans and Godwin and lost by 6.
Yeah, the way I'm kind of looking at those,
And
yeah,
that
the
6,
Chiefs
by the way,
played.
was an OT. That was an OT game.
Oh yeah, I mean Chiefs play close games. That's just what they do. But I'm now trying to flip it on the other hand. The Texans, I feel like the Texans are also a team that has a tendency to stay in tight games at the end. Like
No,
Dolphins had an opportunity at the end.
they do, and don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying that this is by any sense going to be a blowout either way, but I do feel like the Texans might be able to get one off here. And like just like if there's any chance for you to catch the Chiefs lacking, right now is the time. Mahomes is hurt. Defense hasn't been looking great. Like,
Well, that defense has been looking great. I'm gonna have to push back there. The Chiefs gave up 7 points last week, 17 the week before, and 17 the week before that. The
true, but
Chiefs'
also
defense is not what you want to pick apart.
true. But last week they played the Browns. The week before they played the Chargers, and the week before that they played the Raiders.
No, fair, but I mean,
And the week
Texans
before
are not
that they
world
gave up
beaters.
27 to the Panthers. Grant.
Yeah, I have a feeling though that that's a. Oh, we got Carolina
They
this
gave
week. All
they
right,
gave up
Travis
they gave
is
up
off at Taylor's concert.
they gave up 27 to the Panthers, 30 to the Broncos, 14 to the sorry, 30 to the Bills, 14 to the Broncos, 24 to the Bucks, who are down both starting wide receivers, 20 to the Raiders. Like, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily to say like, okay, yeah, the Chiefs defense has been great lately because they've been playing bad teams.
Well, I just think the Chiefs defense
I shouldn't say
is
bad
nice.
teams. Chargers are a good team. Bad passing team. Very bad passing.
Awful offenses.
So I'm gonna stand with that take and say that the Chiefs defense has not been looking extraordinarily great lately. You're playing, yeah. I mean,
Well, I don't know how you can say that. Just they have looked good.
they've been playing Jameis Winston, DTR, a hobbled
Still not
Justin
giving up
Herbert
points.
with no passing attack, and with AOC.
I know, but they're still holding.
I mean that's expected if you're playing those bad teams and you're a one loss
True,
team.
but
Like,
they're
I'm
doing it.
expecting that of you. I just
But
think
they
it's
are
different when
doing
you're
it.
playing an offense that actually is like non-anemic. That's more my
So
point.
when you're talking about a non-anemic offense, are you referring to the 32 points that the Houston Texans gave up to the Titans in a loss, or the 20 points they gave to the Jaguars?
I'm not talking about I'm not talking about their defense. I'm not talking about the Texans defense. I'm talking about the Texans offense.
Well, they haven't been world beaters either.
No, but I
27
think
against
objectively
Titans,
speaking,
23
their
against the
offense,
Jags,
I think
20
objectively
against the
speaking, their
Dolphins.
offense is better than
The Chiefs?
no, better than the
Oh,
last two, three teams that they've played. Better than the Raiders offense, better than the Jaguars
yeah, yeah.
offense,
I'm
or
not debating
whatever.
that.
Yeah, that's my point. Those offenses are anemic right now.
Yeah, I'd say
Or the Browns, yeah.
if this game took place in like week 7 when Texans were 6-1, Chiefs are 7-0, that's when I might take the Houston Texans. I can't take them right now though. I just can't. I
Hey,
can't.
it's fair. Hey, I think that it's a
I can't
fair
do it.
argument either way. I think it's a fair argument either way, but I do think that the Texans might be able to figure it out for this. Like if you're gonna catch the Chiefs at any time to try and beat them, right now is the time to catch them.
Uh on the basis of the Chiefs, sure, but the Texans aren't. They're not
I
giving me
mean,
much confidence in them
I
right
didn't
now.
say that. I just said if you're going to catch the Chiefs at any time, now's the time to catch them. And the Texans need a turnaround. If you're going to turn around, the best way to turn around is you beat a team that is quote unquote good.
Yeah, this fairy tale land that exists, I would love for it to happen and the Chiefs lose.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I just can't see it. I can't see it.
I'm just.
Maybe
You
you
have a
wake me
hurt
up
Mahomes.
like I'm
You
Paul
have.
from Dune, and you show me the vision.
I
Right
think it's
now,
going to be a
though,
close game either way, and I think the Texans are going to be able
oh
to be in there and win
yes,
it. And I think because of that,
it's
I'm
gonna be
willing to take
one
them
score
over the
game.
Chiefs. I'm
Okay,
willing to take them
okay,
over the Chiefs.
okay. Our other game that we didn't agree on: Eagles Commanders.
Yeah.
Now earlier in the season, you picked Commanders over Eagles. I remember that happening.
Yeah, really,
Again.
I'm picking it on a split, and I'm picking it to home game. That's more of my logic here. Was less of a Commanders looking so good right now. Like they really haven't looked exponentially good, but it is that difference where I'm just like, in division game, like doesn't really matter about the Saints or the Titans, whatever. Like can pick it up, can pick it up.
Yeah, right now the Eagles are horrifying to me. Eagles,
No, the
I
Eagles look
think
good.
as of
Yeah,
right now, I would be picking the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. They are on, let me get this correct. 1, 2,
10 game
3,
win streak.
a 10-game win streak right now. And they've had to come down close games at the end. They're not needed, but Saquon's had a nice stretch of
I
just
do
70-yard
also
touchdowns in the
think
fourth quarter.
Jonathan Allen might be coming back for the
Oh,
Commanders.
that could be interesting. Also, I believe this will be Marshawn Lattimore's Washington debut. Is that this Sunday?
Yes, it should.
Or maybe he
we
returned to practice this
we
week.
would have heard more of it
I should
last
know
week
that.
if he played last week, so they played the same.
Well,
so.
I know he didn't play last week. I think though. Oh wait, no. He did debut last week.
Oh, he did.
Never mind. Yeah, he did debut last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be helpful to have him on AJ Brown for sure. But the biggest thing is just in division games. I just like taking
throw everything out
those.
the window. That's the rule. Throw everything.
I just like taking splits
Nothing
on
matters.
those. So I mean, we'll see. And I can't sit here and be like, yeah, the Eagles haven't been playing well. Like, yeah, the one thing I'll argue with anybody who's been saying, why is Jalen Hurts not your top 10 quarterbacks for right now? He's not there because the offense runs through Saquon, and getting touchdowns from tush pushes does not count towards your ability as a quarterback. So not saying he's not playing well. He's been playing great, but it's just going to be more of a see what Saquon does kind of game. And if it turns into what Jalen Hurts can do, we'll see what happens. But I don't feel like they've relied on Jalen Hurts too much this season.
No, but also like if you're an Eagles fan, that's a good thing. Like,
no, it is it's objectively a great.
Yeah, like you don't want your quarterback to have to Superman every single third down for you to win.
No,
games.
that's called Josh Allen. That's called Josh
literally.
Allen.
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, Josh Allen is the best player in the NFL right now. That's okay. If the Eagles and Bills were to square up in the Super Bowl, I'm picking the Eagles because the Eagles team is better than the Bills
Yeah,
team.
they're
But
built out. Like it's not the Eagles offense and the Eagles team is not reliant on one specific individual. Yes, it's built through plays through Saquon, but you still got to guard AJ Brown. You got to guard Devonta
Smitty,
Smith. You got to guard Jalen Hurts if he scrambles out. The Bills offense is just Josh Allen. Maybe,
yeah,
yeah, maybe
literally,
James Cook on a random given Thursday night, but Josh Allen.
yeah, the Bills. It's literally just Josh out. Like the Bills, they're in 12 personnel the entire game. Like
Which is
Dawson
also
Knox
why,
and Dalton Kincaid are on the field every single play,
yeah,
helping
which is
out
also
blocking.
why,
Like,
like, we talk about wins. Like, wins, I do not take as a quarterback stat, but I do take performance plus minus as a quarterback stat. And I think
do
that's
we
different.
have an official like NBA plus minus
I don't think
for the
so. I think that's
NFL?
just me. I think that's just me.
Okay, all right.
Um, but like Josh Allen's performance plus minus, like he's all as far plus as you could be because the reason they have the record they do is because of him. And I'm not taking all he has this many wins because I don't what's the record right now? What's their record right now? They're 11
The
and 3.
Bills.
Yeah, they're 11 and 3. But like I would objectively say Josh Allen is objectively more impactful and more important performance wise for them being 11 and 3 than Jalen Hurts is and them being 12 and 2. And that's why record doesn't matter because if you're going off record, you'd be like, oh, Jalen Hurts 12 and 2 deserves to be above Josh Allen. Not the case. But yeah, I mean, those are the two games we had. If we want to get into college football, go through the playoffs to wrap up the episode, Grant.
Yeah. Well, I got one last closing thought on the NFL on Michael Penix. He'll make his NFL debut. I'm a big Michael Penix fanboy. Not gonna lie, I'll be open to everybody. But I believe right now, today, December 18th, 2024, Michael Penix today is a top 25 quarterback on the planet Earth. Do you agree or disagree with that statement, Everett?
Top 32 quarterback on
A top
earth.
25 quarterback on the planet Earth today. He just happened to be a backup for the first 14 games of the season.
Considering all quarterbacks that are top 25 are in the NFL right now, um, yeah, I probably would agree with that.
Yeah, I think Michael Penix is a very good quarterback, and I'm happy finally he's going to have an opportunity to play. But yeah, I mean, we already went into everything on the whole Kirk situation, but I mean, Michael Penix right here could just
Grant,
show up,
I would
start
like to
balling for the Falcons, and
I
then
would
that's
like
his
to
city.
add this one thing, not for Michael Penix, but
Okay.
uh, this we'll wrap on this and then go into college football. Tom Pelissero, everybody, NFL reporter, beat guy, NFC North, big NFC North kind of reporter guy, right? Works for the NFL. Tom Pelissero had his annual early poll of executives for 27 teams in the NFL for all the major awards in NFL in football. Kevin O'Connell received 16 and a half votes for coach of the year, which was 13 and a half more than any
Wait, how
other
can you get a
candidate.
half a vote?
Hey, don't ask me. This is what it says. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you. I don't know. But 16 and a half votes, which was 13 and a half more than any other football head coach, any other head coach in the
Who
NFL.
votes on these?
This was just a poll of 27 NFL executives.
Okay.
And which Kevin O'Connell will basically won coach of the year in a landslide. So just putting that out there. But okay, we'll wrap it with college football. Grant, we talked a little bit about those games, these playoff games in the last episode, but I know you kind of wanted to put like a little exclamation points on.
Yeah, these are gonna be like
takes.
official, finalized.
You have an official finalized.
People can reference back to this portion of the podcast and like, all right, this is what they thought of what was going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm just taking a quick skim through of that article he posted. I'm kind of shocked they have the Bills GM as pretty tight with the Lions GM for executive of the year. What did the Bills GM do?
Eviscerate the defense because he signed Von Miller.
Yeah, the Bills quite literally like downgraded in every position from last year, but Josh Allen's just Superman. So I don't know how the Bills exec is on that. I don't understand that, but all right, you guys, it's your hey, it's their vote, not mine. But all right, okay. College football playoff bracket. Yeah, we'll go through the whole thing. We'll start off with the biggest seed gaps, and then move into the better round. I mean, just seeing 12, 5, 8, 9, 7, 10, 11, just, we're already in March Madness season. Oh my God. I see those numbers and I'm just right back into making
It's
a
clicking.
March
It's
Madness
clicking. Yeah.
bracket.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, Clemson, Texas. Yeah, Texas is winning that football game. Ohio State, Tennessee. I've gone back and forth on this. My confidence in Ryan Day as head coach is at all time low, folks. But I'm still picking Ohio State to beat
Let's put it
Tennessee.
this way: if you want Ryan Day fired, you're picking Tennessee. If Ryan Day is staying, you're Ohio State through and through. You're picking Ohio State.
Well, I don't want Ryan Day to stay, and regardless of, I mean, let me say this: if Ohio State was actually serious about their football program, there is a world where Ryan Day runs the table, runs the natty, and then he resigns the next day. They fire him after he wins the natty. that would be Ohio State serious about this.
Yeah.
That would obviously never happen. But that's how I know they'd be serious about the stuff. That's obviously not, that reality does not exist.
Yeah, I don't think that they subconsciously will not give a shit. They lost to Michigan if they win the natty.
Yeah, well, real quick while you're on it, I gotta bring this up. Right now, there's been a clip going of Ryan Day being asked about playoffs upcoming, and he was pretty much minimizing the Michigan game, saying, "Hey, our goal all year was to win a national championship. We're in the playoff. There's a lot of other football teams out there who aren't in the playoff." And he's pretty much just saying, like, all of our goals are still ahead of us. Yeah, he just like minimized the Michigan game, the rivalry. And this time I've been going back and forth with Ohio State fans. A lot of them are like, hey, this is just the new era of college football. Like, you can lose twice in a season. Your season's not over anymore. Like, this is just a new era. And people are comparing it to the NFL. Like, hey, if an NFL team loses to their rival, it's not like their season's over. But it's like college football in the NFL is way different. College football, you only play your rival once a year. This is different. It is not the same thing. You can't minimize the rivalry game. If we start minimizing the rivalry game, we're just taking away what makes college football great. We can't let the expanded playoff take away what makes college football great. The
college
rivalries
football is college football. Like, the game encapsulates everything of college football.
If the rivalry game is called, quote, the game, I mean, what are we talking about? I mean,
like,
what else needs to be said?
You said it yourself. The number one thing on your list for any season is the game.
There's one game on the schedule,
and then it's the natty. But the game is number one priority, and then you can focus on the natty.
The argument I'm hearing, it's like, in the past, beating Michigan is a requirement in order to go be national champion. So I get what they mean in the sense that, like, that isn't the reality anymore. Like, you don't need to beat Michigan and win. I mean, you saw it this year. Like, you don't need to beat them to be in the natty. You saw it 2 years ago when Noah Ruggles field goal against Georgia. Like, you don't need to beat Michigan to win a natty. But I still believe you need to beat Michigan to win a natty. Like, I'm not going to let that be taken away from me because there's now a 12-team playoff and you could lose 2 games.
No, yeah, you're going to end up having those Michigan fans are going to hold that shit over your head for the end of time.
No, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, just people out there being like, I mean, it's just a game. And it's like, no, it isn't. There's an empty void in the middle of my chest that cannot be rebuilt.
If it was just a game, somebody explain to me how he got COVID after losing last year.
Yeah, explain to me how my body started shutting down. All right, explain that one to me. But yeah, no, you can't minimize that game. You can't. It's just it's being what Harbaugh said. That's being soft. You're cowarding away from the rivalry game. In 2020 Michigan, the only time the game was ever canceled, and keep in mind we fought 2 world wars, and that rivalry game still occurred. it was the only time in rivalry history that the game didn't happen was because of COVID. And there are some Ohio State fans out there be like, we should probably just duck them next year. Like, you want us to become pathetic Michigan and just duck? What? That's your solution? That's so soft. That can't be the solution. Like, what? No. What are you talking about? But that's the state of Ohio State fans right now. But the amount of Ohio State fans I see being like, we have so many negative fans. I think we have people who want to see us lose. Yeah, there's a lot of people who want Ryan Day fired, and losing to Tennessee would cause that. So yeah. I mean, if you're okay with 10-2 being the most likely outcome at the end of the season moving forward, you're a loser. You're a loser if you think that's good. Not at Ohio State. It's good at Ole Miss, not Ohio State. Great at Tennessee, not Ohio State. So there is that. But I'm going to pick Ohio State to win that game. We'll see what version of Ohio State shows up, and who knows? Who knows? SMU, Penn State. Penn State's going to win that football game. Notre Dame in it. Yeah, Notre Dame's a roll again. We already went over those opening matchups. Yep. Texas, Arizona State. I hope Texas doesn't beat them too badly. I really like Kenny Dillingham. He seems like a great coach. Seems like an excellent football.
Do you not think that there's a what percent chance would you give it that Arizona State actually makes it like a close game with Texas?
Makes it a close game.
A close game. Like Texas is probably going to win, but like could go down to like last second drive for Arizona State. Like they could somehow win.
I give it a firm 3.5% chance that it is a close game.
Okay. It's not 0. So there's that.
Not 0. Not
there's
0.
That.
Yeah, I mean, yikes.
It depends on the kind of Quinn Ewers that comes out to play, though. If he gets benched for Arch, if he gets benched for Arch, it doesn't matter. But I don't know. Quinn.
Well, Quinn could throw for 209 passing yards, no touchdowns, and a pick, and Texas still wins 37-10. So.
Okay. All right. 3.5% chance. 3.5%.
Do not matter with Quinn for that one. They might have my boy Cole Lord start that game, or one of my Loyola boys at quarterback at UT start that game, and they're still winning. But Penn State, Boise State. As the future owner of Ashton Genty and Dynasty, I hope they sit Genty for his health. Abdul Carter might kill him. So yeah, Penn State's going to be rolling. Notre Dame, Georgia. I think this could be an enticing matchup. It could be. It's just.
I know it's Georgia.
Notre Dame. Hey, Gunnar Stockton isn't the most elite thrower of the football. He's not exactly going to break you through the air, but we know. Well. We can assume Gunnar Stockton won't. We know Riley Leonard can't. We know that. So there's that. At least there's a slight chance Gunnar Stockton might go on some Cardale Jones run. We know. This Riley
is
Leonard
the one.
Can't.
This is. I could see Notre Dame winning that game.
Oh, yeah. I think Notre Dame sneaky could have the best defense in this whole 12-team field. At worst, they have, I would say at worst, they have the third best defense in this field.
I would take that. Yeah, I would take that.
They're very, very good. And the thing about Notre Dame, of course, it's a Notre Dame football team. They're obviously very tough up front. But what I'm more so focused on is like their secondary is littered with NFL talent this year. They got NFL dogs all over that secondary. My only thought process is, though, and I brought this up months ago for Georgia-Bama, Georgia doesn't really have any weapons this year. And now that Carson Beck isn't the quarterback, which low-key might help them because Gunnar Stockton can run. But that's a matchup that Notre Dame wins every single game they play. Like Notre Dame's secondary is going to beat Georgia's passing offense.
I know they have time to prepare Gunnar Stockton for the game. But also, like, it's your first start. and it's in the biggest game you might
Yeah, he either
ever
has it or
play
he
in.
doesn't.
It's in the biggest game you might ever play in, and
Well, it is the biggest game he'll ever play in.
well, he might.
Notre Dame, Georgia, or Indiana. That
Well, I'm
will
more
be the
so,
biggest game
I'm
he'll
more
play.
so saying like if he ended up playing like a national championship game, then that would be the biggest game he ever plays in. But
Well, sure, but at the time,
yeah, in the moment,
whoever,
yeah.
that Sugar Bowl will be the biggest game of his life.
It's
Yeah.
the biggest game of your life. Yeah, in the moment, and that's one of those things where like you have it or you don't. But it's kind of the same thing where you think like it might be harder for a first time start for it to be that. Like it innately is already harder for it to be that, and it's just going to see like if they can pick up on it and just make him make mistakes.
Okay. One thing I'm thinking of that may slightly help with Georgia is that there is a quarter and a half of game tape out on Gunnar Stockton for Notre Dame or Indiana. Like, there's not a lot to go off of, and that may end up helping Georgia. I mean, obviously, if you're Georgia, you'd rather just have your starting quarterback, obviously. But, maybe. I mean, if I can think back to 2014 Ohio State when Cardale came in, I mean, the JT Barrett offense from the week before was all QB run, quick, short game, pick up 3 yards of play, 4 yards of play. We're not trying to go deep. And then Wisconsin shows up, and like the first quarter, we probably threw 8 different passes, 20 plus yards. It was just, what the hell? We've never seen this. What are they doing? Like, so maybe. I don't know if Gunnar Stockton has the Cardell Jones cannon.
I do not
That'll
believe
be
he
hard
does.
to replicate.
I don't believe he does.
But yeah, I'll pick Georgia in that game. Just Kirby in a big game, big time spot. It's
so
the Sugar Bowl. That's
so
Georgia's
far taking
home.
Yeah, so far taking the favorites in each game.
Oh yeah, and you should be if anyone else picking.
Well, no, that Notre Dame game is one that is more interesting to pick a favorite. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, Ohio State, Oregon, Rose Bowl game. I will definitely be at this. If it happens, for me personally, a little full circle moment. The very first Ohio State football game I ever watched in my life, I believe, was the 2009 Rose Bowl. Terrell Pryor was at quarterback, beat the Oregon Ducks. That Oregon team had like LeGarrette Blount, had LaMichael James. They had killers on that team. And on their D line, they had like Haloti Ngata. Like they had dogs on that team. But that was the first ever Ohio State game I ever attended. I'll never forget how blown away I was when around the Rose Bowl, the Ohio State fans did the OHIO. That shit blew my mind, how loud the Ohio State fans were. It'll be a full circle moment for me.
It will also probably be the first Ohio State game that you've been to in person since then.
No.
What was the last one you went to?
Rose Bowl since. Ohio State, Washington, Rose Bowl. Urban's last ever game. Dwayne's last game. Ohio State, Utah Rose Bowl a few years ago. I was deathly ill. That was the JSN 350 yards, 4 touchdown game. I did not attend that one, but after that, I made a promise I will never miss a Rose Bowl. If I'm in LA, I will never miss a Rose Bowl that Ohio State's playing in ever again. I will never, ever do that. I'm 2-0 all time. So maybe I'm
we got a record going then.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ohio State, I believe I have this right, has never lost a Rose Bowl in my life. So there is that. But with all that being said, I am picking the Oregon Ducks to beat Ohio State in the Rose Bowl.
All right,
with that being said, I am picking the Oregon Ducks to beat Ohio State in that game. If Tez Johnson's playing,
Evan Stewart.
Yeah, I love how Evan Stewart has been pretty quiet all year, except the Ohio State game. And it's also this is a me thing. I don't mean to go on a tangent, but if you are playing against Ohio State's defense, you're not gonna have a great time running the ball on them. That you're not gonna have a fun time. What you're gonna have a fun time doing, you just whoever offense against Denzel Burke or Igbinosen, you just throw that up and it's either a PI or they're getting mossed. Regardless, you're getting 15 yards on that play at minimum. So the strategy to beat Ohio State, because the Ohio State corners, when the ball is thrown, when they're targeted, they do not know what to do. They do not know what to do. And I don't understand this part, but each Ohio State corner is coached differently on how they play the ball in the air. Denzel Burke is taught to not turn and look at the ball, which, hey, I played O-line, so I'm no DB genius, but I think turning and looking for the ball is a pretty key part of playing corner, especially when you're in man. But Denzel Burke, he just refuses to turn. Igbinosun, he usually doesn't turn, but if he does turn, then he will like pause for a quick second and just let the receiver run 8 yards by him, beat, gone, touchdown. The only corner on the team that's instructed to turn and, you know, try to deflect the pass coming is Jermaine Matthews. He's a true sophomore corner from Winton Woods, Ohio. And I think he's played like a total of 7 snaps all season at corner. The one
that's not a recipe for success.
The one guy on the team who plays corner as it should be played isn't allowed to play. And, you know, I brought it up a lot, but Ohio State's DB coach, Tim Walton, Jalen Ramsey himself has said he is the greatest coach I've ever had in my life. Like in Jacksonville, Walton taught me more than anyone else. So Tim Walton, why do you teach half your corners to not turn for the football and the other half to turn for the football? I don't understand. It makes zero sense to me. But yeah, there's so much hate filled with Ohio State and me right now. I can't pick him over Oregon. Okay. Texas, Oregon. This one I think is pretty pick 'em up in the air. I'm going to be going with Oregon, but
I agree with that.
That is my biggest.
I'm thinking down to the Washington, Texas game last year where I was like Texas. I think you were saying like most people were saying Texas, and it came out and just that other team just balled out, and Quinn just did not look good that game. And I can't get that out of my head, and because of that, I would go with Oregon too. Quinn in the playoffs has always just looked just not
so on that same framework of mine. Do not look up Dan Lanning against Washington twice last season. Do not look those up.
No, do not look at the championship game. Do not
do it.
But generally speaking, Quinn Ewers has just looked uncomfortable in playoffs and big games. So that's my other thing.
Yeah, Quinn's just not. Hey, he's like one of 4 perfect 1,000 recruits ever. I believe it's him, Vince Young, Jadeveon Clowney, and there's one more recently.
The one of the Mannings? It's not Trevor Lawrence, is it?
No, because Justin Fields was number 1 on one site.
Oh.
Trevor Lawrence was 0.999. Justin Fields was 0.9998.
Was it not one of the Mannings? Oh, why? Not
they didn't
not
have those. They didn't have the 1,000 grades back then. I know it's Vince Young. It might be Ndamukong Suh. That sounds right.
That would add up. That would make sense.
That sounds right. It was
out of like some corner. Travis Hunter wasn't one, was he?
Mm-mm. I think he was the number 2 player in his class.
Yeah.
I forget who was. There's definitely there's some quarterback who was over him. I don't know, but or actually, it's probably just Michael Williams on Georgia. I don't know. It's probably some edge.
Yeah,
usually gets top spot. But okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go Oregon over Texas. Penn State, Georgia. Yeah, we're taking Georgia. We're not thinking twice about that one. Folks.
If it's Notre Dame, Penn State, who do you take?
Notre Dame.
So Notre Dame or Georgia, whoever comes out of that bottom bracket is going to the championship
game. Actually, Notre Dame, Penn State. Oh, that is a matchup that I really want to watch. I don't know if we'll get that, but Penn State, I don't know. I think I might go Penn State. I think I might go Penn State there just because of the passing difference.
So Penn State or Georgia makes the Natty.
Yeah.
What would you do if Penn State won a Natty this year?
I wouldn't be mad as an Ohio State fan. I'd be genuinely shocked.
No, I
I'd be
know that, but
stunned.
I'm just sitting there. That's like for me, I would feel like if I was an Ohio State fan, that'd give me the same feeling as if like the Bears came and won the fucking Super Bowl before the Vikings.
Nah, like if Penn State won it, I wouldn't quite feel that way just because like
Or maybe the
in the
Lions.
past 11
but
years, Penn State's beaten me once. But if Oregon came in year one Big
and won
Ten,
it.
wins the Natty,
Yeah, do it.
that would hurt me a lot more than Penn State. Yeah,
No, you might be looking at that, but okay.
it's
Natty,
looking pretty likely.
Georgia, Oregon, Grant.
Yeah, Georgia, Oregon. Mm. Could Kirby lose to his assistant? Can Dan Lanning slay the dragon? Uh,
The season to do it.
yeah, they're gonna do it. Yeah, it's full circle. Dan Lanning, his very first ever football game, at the Georgia Dome, Oregon versus Georgia. I believe Georgia won that game 56-0, 63-0. He got absolutely splattered off the face of college football in his very first game as Oregon head coach. This is gonna be a full circle moment. I know Dan Lanning has cut ups of every single play of that game that he will be showing to the team, probably starting today. Oregon's gonna win the national championship. They're gonna do
Well, you heard it here first. What's the score?
it. The final score of that game will be here. This I gotta think. How many?
I got it for you.
Georgia will be able to put up. Yeah, I trust Gunnar Stockton to give them 33. Oregon's gonna win 38-33.
I was going to say 34-28.
Okay. Yeah, I expect that. I expect in the 30s.
Yeah. It's one team, at least one team is going to be in the 30s. At least one team.
Yes.
So
I'd go so far as to guarantee that.
Yeah. No, I'll put that down. But with that, we'll probably wrap up here. So thank you guys so much for watching, listening, rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterboy Pod. You can follow me and Grant on Twitter at Ever6 and at Waterboy Grant. We post new episodes every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms. So make sure to check us out there and subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. We also post exclusive content on Instagram and on TikTok, assuming it's still available in the United States. So make sure to check us out there for exclusive content. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Waterboys out.